Everyone's three favorite words in baseball. Let's play two, as we have a doubleheader for you today here on the Woodchucks Baseball Network. We're heading down to Fond du Lac for the fourth and fifth time at Herb Baker Field as the Woodchucks look for their first win of the season in Fond du Lac. A team who they went 3-3 within the first half. Hello, everyone. Will Charlton here with you today. Happy you're joining us on this Wednesday morning, I guess it still is. As we got an 11:35 first pitch for you, the second doubleheader of the season for the Woodchucks after they swept the Madison Mallards in a doubleheader earlier this season back in June. And now we're back in Fond du Lac as the Woodchucks looking to bounce back. Woodchucks have only scored a combined 4 runs so far here in Fond du Lac in 3 games. Losses of 1-0, 10-3, and 4-1. But with the Dock Spiders out there on defense, let's see who will be batting today for the Wausau Woodchucks. Leads up with Brennan Holt, Colby Wallace, Brent Witter, Drew Berkland, Christian Mitchell, Mike McGinnis, Jake Baker, Matt McGann, and then Anthony McFarland will round it out at the bottom. The starting pitcher tonight for the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders is Jacob Young from Fairmont State University, who actually is a former Green Bay Rocker this season, came over to Fond du Lac from Green Bay, and his first pitch to Brennan Holt, and run away. High fastball for ball 1. Second game tonight will be at 6:35, so a bit of a long break in between 2 games today. That is, if the rain decides to stay away, of course. It's going to be a cloudy day here today in Fond du Lac. As Holt swings and misses, the Oklahoma State Cowboy from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Jacob Young, the right-hander from Lisle, Illinois, by way of Downers Grove, North Illinois. Facing off against Brendan Holt, and Holt sends one in the air and fouls it off into the foul territory along the left field plate. And then Jacob Young, of course, on the mound. 1-2 to Holt. Off speed, taken high and outside. Brennan Holt now playing in his 19th game, starting his 18th, batting .207 with the Woodchucks. 12 hits, 2 doubles, 1 triple, a home run, which came against the Green Bay Rockers in the 18-7 win. That rain 2-2. Holt down the first base line and past the glove of Dieters, but he's able to recover it and step on the bag in time to beat out Holt for out number 1. Brennan Holt nearly, but Teddy Dieters able to recover in time and make the play, which will now bring up the center fielder from Cal State Fullerton. Colby Wallace. First pitch swinging and fouls it off down the right field line. This season, making his 3rd overall appearance with the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders, as he misses low to Colby Wallace. He has a 1.13. Started a game against the Traverse City Pit Spitters back on the 6th of July, right here at Herb Baker Field. He went 6 2/3 in that game against Traverse City. 2-1 to Wallace. And Wallace waits on the off speed, but fouls it off. That game ended in a 4-2 loss for Fond du Lac. But he only allowed 5 hits and only 1 run while striking out 6 and only walking 2. Very good outing for Jacob Young last time out against the very good team in Traverse City. As fastball misses outside, the count's now full to Colby Wallace. His first outing of the season came against the Madison Mallards, where he picked up the win, actually. That was on June 29th. Pitching at 1 1/3 innings in that one. 3-2 to Wallace. And Wallace stays alive, fouls off the changeup. The Fairmont State man in West Virginia, Jacob Young, facing off against Colby Wallace, is now playing in his 20th game of the season for the Woodchucks, starting his 19th. First base, and the Woodchucks have their first base runner of the game and the first base runner overall. As now comes to the plate is a guy who has 5 hits in his last 2 games. It's Brent Witter. He was 3 for 4 in the 18-7 win over Green Bay on Monday night, and then was 2 for 4 last night in the 8-3 loss. Witter takes first pitch low on a changeup from Jacob Young, 1-0. Witter, the Evansville ace, by way of Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Starting and playing in his 25th game as a Woodchuck this summer, batting .284. Before the Green Bay game on Monday, it was in the 250s. So his batting average has skyrocketed in these past 2 games. And this one's hit into the infield. So now it'll be Drew Berkland coming to the plate with 2 outs here in the first as the Woodchucks look to keep the inning going. And Berkland tried to put a bunt down and whiffed on it. Paul Smith, the catcher, tried to throw out Colby Wallace at first base, but he was back in time. Very interesting approach for Berkland, trying to put a bunt down. The Minnesota Golden Gopher and the Wayzata, Minnesota native. Playing in his 29th game, starting his 28th, batting .309 for the Woodchucks is Drew Berkland. And he is late on the fastball. And the count's 0-2. .30 hits, which is 4th on the Woodchucks. Now part of the 4 in the 30-plus hit club on the team. With his double he had in yesterday's game. That 4th double was his only hit of the game in a 1-for-3 night. But he also scored a run and was walked. And now is riding an 18-game on-base streak is Drew.
I'm so glad you and Jack are home. His birthday was supposed to be today, right, Mom?
That's right.
He wanted to meet me 8 weeks early.
He sure gave us a scare, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's so perfect. It's just you and me, Jack. Can I take him to show and tell?
We'll see.
The savings are heating up this summer at Cellcom. Save up to $300 on the top phones from our most iconic brands. Plus, save $150 on all connected tablets, smartwatches, and cameras. Keep kids busy this summer with a tablet, track your steps with a smartwatch, or monitor your cabin with a camera. Now, unlimited data is more affordable than ever with our single unlimited plan. Offering unlimited data for only $29.95 per month for just 1 line. Visit cellcom.com/save for details.
Don't miss out on any of the great food at Athletic Park. For tickets, call 715-845-5055.
It's time for the bottom of the first inning here at Hare Baker Field as the Woodchucks have taken defense, and they'll be throwing these guys out there. In the outfield from left to right, it's Mike McGinnis, Colby Wallace, Drew Berkland on the corners, Anthony McFarland and Jake Baker. Third and first, respectively. Up the middle, Christian Mitchell at shortstop, Brendan Holt at second base. Behind the plate is Matt McGann, and on the mound is the right-hander from Louisville, Kentucky. By way of Western Kentucky University, it's Nick Schutte. Nick Schutte making his 8th appearance, 2nd start of the season, coming off his last start, which was against him for the Dock Spiders. Usually see him leading off every game, 0-1. Schutte goes inside with another fastball, 1-1. Schutte in 7 appearances with 1 start has a 2-1 record, a 3.0 ERA, 1.33 walks and hits per innings pitched rate. 1-1 to Cooney. In there for strike 2. Has gone 15 full innings. Has struck out 9, 10 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. Has walked 10, has an opposing batting average of .185. 1-2 to Cooney. And Cooney over the head of McFarland. He's going to second. And that is a leadoff double for Connor Cooney off what is a very softly hit ball. He put one over the head of McFarland, pushed it, and he has a leadoff double here in the first. 23rd hit brings up Travis Strickler, the best hitter on the team here in Fond du Lac. Takes first pitch high, breaking ball, strike one. To Strickler, the left-handed batter from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical in Arizona. He also struck out 3 in that July 5th matchup last week. 7 days ago today. 1-1 to Strickler. And Strickler into Travis Strickler starting off early for Fond du Lac. And he puts his 26th or 45th hit of the season on the board. Runners on the corners with no outs here in the first. As that brings up the Xavier man. Teddy Dieters from Maple Plain, Minnesota, the first baseman. Shuddy, righty-righty matchup, and Dieters fouls off the fastball. Left field line, that's got a chance to clear the bases. As being held up at third will be Strickler, but that is a second double of the inning for the Dock Spiders, and they lead at 1-0. First double of the season for Teddy Dieters and RBI number 19. And it's already 1-0 Fond du Lac. 3 hits off the first 3 batters of the game. As now the UW Oshkosh man, Jake Serene, comes to the plate. Shuddy has not retired a batter yet. And the second and third runs are still at second and third. So Fond du Lac trying to strike early here. And take a commanding lead. 1-0 to Serene. Fastball, strike one. Fond du Lac already with 2 more hits than they had in 5 innings against Shuddy last Wednesday. But obviously when you're pitching with a big lead, you become a lot more confident on the mound. As curveball from Shuddy in there for strike 2. Shuddy has finished up his freshman season with Western Kentucky. And the 1-2 on the ground. And Mitchell will throw it to Baker for out number 1, but that does bring on home Travis Strickler. And it's 2-0 Fond du Lac, RBI ground out for Serene. Staying at second was Dieters. And the first out of the inning recorded on the ground out. That brings up the Michigan State Spartan, Jacob Anderson. And first pitch, low breaking ball from Shuddy on the slider. Slider, curveball, change up fastball for Nick Shuddy. 4-pitch arsenal. Jacob Anderson currently on a 3-game hit streak, 9-game on base streak. Was 1 for 4 last night against the Rockford Rivets. A game that the Dock Spiders were able to win 7-5 here. Sebastian Guzman picking up his first win of the season. So the Woodchucks were able to avoid seeing him for a 5th time this season. Feel like every time we play the Dock Spiders, it's either Sengeg or Guzman. And today it's Jacob Young instead. 2-0 from Shuddy. Anderson takes it high, 3-0 count. Anderson just finished up his redshirt freshman year with Michigan State. And comes in this one batting .234, 15 hits, which includes 1 double, and he has 6 RBIs as well, 13 walks too. 3-0. And Shuddy hits the outside edge for strike 1. So now 3-1. As Shuddy looks to try and battle back in the count after going down 3-0 to Anderson. 3-1. And that one misses low. Home plate umpire Steve Bartelstein calls it a walk, and off the first base goes Jacob Anderson. Runners now on first and second with only one out here in the first. As Matt McGann, the catcher, going out to have a quick little conversation with Nick Shuddy. Brock Moss was looking for hopefully at least 4 or 5 from Shuddy. But with how he's starting so far, that might not be able to be the case. And now coming to the plate is the left-handed batting catcher, Paul Smith, who takes first pitch slider low. The Rice University product in Texas. 1-0. And Paul Smith takes it low, 2-0. Paul Smith, the catcher, playing in his 18th game, also batting .234 in the season. 11 hits, 2 doubles, a home run, 4 RBIs, 20 walks, 14 runs scored for the Rice man. And Paul Smith swings through the changeup from Shuddy for strike 1. Two one. Shuddy to Smith, and it's a 2-2 count. The fastball clipping the low outside corner. Shuddy looking for out number 2 here in the bottom of the first. And maybe looking for one to be put on the ground. Shuddy, the 2-2. And Smith fouls it off into the dugout of the Woodchucks. Woodchucks coming into this one at 23-19. Fond du Lac at 16-27. A matchup of the two bottom teams in the division in the second half so far. Woodchucks in 5th at 3-4. Fond du Lac and last at 3-5. 2-2. Shuddy goes slider, but it misses outside. Count is full to Paul Smith. Shuddy's already allowed 3 hits and a walk so far in this inning. Payoff pitch. Smith stays alive, fouls it off. Fond du Lac just split a 2-game home set with the Rockford Rivets. Rockford winning 16-10 the other night. And then they were able to win 7-5 last night, like I mentioned. Nick Shuddy's 3-2 again. And that one just misses outside a fastball. Paul Smith off the first base, and the bases are loaded with only 1 out. Woodchucks in a little bit of trouble here. Fond du Lac, who 9-13 at home, but 3-0 against the Woodchucks here so far. Off to a great start to try and improve to 4-0 and take this first game of the doubleheader. Shuddy to Jack Gorman. And first pitch breaking ball for strike 1. Jack Gorman, the Presbyterian College product. Comes into this game batting .208. 0-1. And the breaking ball's fouled off. It's strike 2. Jack Gorman, 20 hits on the season, 4 doubles and a home run. 15 RBIs, 22 walks. Oh, 2 from Shuddy. And the changeup misses just low. 1-2 from Shuddy to Gorman. Way outside, and it goes around the back of Gorman. If I was Gorman, I'd just let that hit you. You would have scored a run there. Would have sacrificed a little bruise for a run. Obviously not too bummed out he didn't, but that's just a little breaking ball. Now the 2-2 from Shuddy. And Gorman goes down looking. So Gorman not trying to just take a little step back and let the breaking ball hit him. Costs him. He struck out looking, and that's out number 2 here in the inning. Which brings up the West Texas A&M man, Paul Whitman, who, fun fact, is from Germany. Came over to the U.S. to play baseball. Shuddy, first pitch to Whitman, the left-handed batter, and the right fielder tonight. Playing now his 18th game as a Dock Spider. 0-1, way inside. 0-2. He suffered an injury that kept him out for a long part of the season and made his first game back in appearance against the Traverse City Pittsbitters, where he went 0-4 as Shuddy misses low for ball 2. But now he's back and healthy again, so he is seeing action. Batting in the 8-hole today for the Dock Spiders. And Whitman takes 2-1 high. The count is 3-1. And Nick Shuddy has reached pitch number 35 in the inning, so he will be done after 1. (3-1) to Whitman. And he is walked. It's 3-0 Fond du Lac. As now coming out will be the 9-hitter. The Dock Spiders have gone through the order in the first here. As Ross Davis, the pitching coach for the Woodchucks, going to go out there and talk with Nick Shuddy, who, if you weren't aware, in the Northwoods League, there is a rule that if you go over 35 pitches thrown in the same inning, you have to come out of the game. And Nick Shuddy will not see anything more than just 1 inning today, as he has allowed 3 runs, 3 hits, and has walked 3 batters. As he is looking to at least get out of the first. But last time the Dock Spiders put up 3 in the inning in the first and got on the board quickly. They ended up winning that game 10-3. So the Woodchucks are going to have to go into the bullpen for the second. Nick Shuddy, first pitch to Seth Sweetchick, University of Nevada man. And the fastball misses high and outside. Seth Sweetchick hits this one in the air. It's got some carry on it, but Colby Wallace in center field is there and makes the grab for out number 3. And that will end the inning, but the Dock Spiders go 1 through 9 and they put up 3 runs. They lead it 3-0 after 1, as the Woodchucks will look to answer when we come back on the Woodchucks Baseball Network.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Oh, good to have you back on your game.
Yeah, well, I only got cancer so that you can tell people that, you shaved your head for solidarity and not because you're going bald.
Right. And I got a minivan to make your little moped look cool.
Okay. Well, couldn't have gotten through without you.
Love you, bro. I'm glad you're sticking around.
Oh, that means so much coming from Mom and Dad's second favorite.
Whatever.
Over 600,000 Americans are projected to die of cancer this year. 250,000 will likely battle muscular dystrophy. All of Us Research Program. Join today to feel the power of one.
To buy your own Woodchucks merchandise, visit the Woodshed at Athletic Park, or you can visit our website, www.woodchucks.com. And it's time for the top of the second as the Woodchucks now trail it 3-0 already, and Jacob Young in a comfortable position, pitching-wise. As Wausau has only scored a combined 4 runs in 3 games here at Hare Baker Field. In a hole that could be hard to climb out of. But they got to see some offense start up soon. As coming to the plate is Christian Mitchell, the Central Michigan Chippewa, for the first time today. Jacob Young first pitch to Mitchell on a fastball, strike 1. Christian Mitchell, the Romeoville, Illinois native, playing now in his 6th game as a Woodchuck, batting .300, 0-1, and the curveball is swung through and missed at. Jacob Young, 6 hits, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. For Mitchell, who stays alive on the 0-2. Fouls it off. Has been walked a couple times, 3 runs scored, a .400 slugging percentage. And in the last game he played in, which was in the 18-7 win over the Green Bay Rockers, he went 2 for 5. A couple of singles in the game for Christian Mitchell, who with his single in the 6th was the last Woodchuck to reach base not once but twice as he hits this one into left field. Travis Strickler waits for it and grabs it for out number 1. As now comes to the plate will be Mike McGinnis, the Georgia State Panther from Noonan, Georgia. Playing for the 34th time as a Woodchuck, starting for the 32nd time. He's the left fielder tonight. He's kind of a utility guy. You can pretty much put him in the infield or the outfield. And McGinnis on the ground hits it over to Serene at third, and he won't have a play on it. That's going to be an error. Won't be a hit, it'll be an error. And Serene allows the first base runner of the inning for the Woodchucks. Mike McGinnis, a reach on air. As now with McGinnis on, second base runner of the game for the Woodchucks comes Jake Baker, the Kansas Jayhawk. Jake Baker now playing for the 19th time as a Woodchuck, starting his 18th game. As he takes first pitch off speed from Jacob Young outside, or in the strike zone on the outer part of the strike zone for strike 1. 0-1 to Baker. And the off speed misses high from Young. Jacob Young, the 5'10", 200 right-hander. Just finished with his senior year at Fairmont State. And Baker lets the curveball drop in there for strike 2. Jake Baker hitting at Hare Baker. Would only feel appropriate for him to get a hit and have a good game. The first baseman tonight from the University, or today I guess you would say, from the University of Kansas. Young 1-2. And Baker hits one way in the air. And into center field it goes. Connor Cooney's out there and makes the grab. That's out number 2. A couple of flyouts here in the second. Matt McGann, who is starting for the second time after making a return to Wausau. As Young checks back to first base and McGinnis, but nothing doing. McGann was originally here on a temporary deal. Played in 5 games and started all 5 at catcher before he made his depart in early June. And was asked to come back due to the fact that catchers. So we'll have to see in the scorebook if that goes down as a stolen base or a pass ball later on. 1-0 to Matt McGann. And McGann swings through it. On the off-speed, strike 1. In 6 games, he's batting .318, 7 hits, 2 doubles, 1 RBI, 1 run, a stolen base as well, and a .409 slugging percentage. He went 1 for 4 in his first game back. That was against the Madison Mallards this past Saturday in a 13-3 loss. McGann takes the breaking ball low, and the count's 2-1. The Albion College man who started and played every game this past year for Albion College, all 40. Had a team best .380 batting average. 52 hits, 14 doubles, 3 triples, 3 home runs, 26 RBIs, 22 walks, 36 runs, and a .591 slugging percentage, .503 on base percentage, 2-1. And on the curveball goes Young, 2-2 count. As McGann looks to keep the inning going. 2-2 from Young. And McGann lets the off-speed go outside. Count is full with 2 outs. Mike McGinnis at second base. Woodchucks could use something here. Payoff. McGann fouls it off. Jacob Young, first time facing off against the Woodchucks this season. Only made 2 appearances for the Green Bay Rockers. Only 2 2/3 innings pitched to start the season. 3-2 again to McGann, and McGann up the middle. And it will be stopped by the shortstop, Jack Gorman, and he makes the play to Teddy Dieters in time. And that will end the inning. Matt McGann grounds out, and the Docs batters stay up 3-0 into the bottom of the second here on the Woodchucks Baseball Network.
Over 600,000 Americans are projected to die of cancer this year. 250,000 will likely battle muscular dystrophy. 5,000 may be diagnosed with ALS. But one person can become the difference. All it takes is you to help researchers improve the health of Wisconsinites by participating in the All of Us research program. Join today to feel the power of one.
To buy your own Woodchucks merchandise, visit the Woodshed at Athletic Park, or you can visit our website, www.woodchucks.com.
I'm so glad you and Jack are home. His birthday was supposed to be today, right, Mom?
That's right.
He wanted to meet me 8 weeks early.
He sure gave us a scare, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's so perfect. It's just you and me, Jack. Can I take him to show and tell?
We'll see.
After Nick Schutte only went 1 full inning because of the fact he went over the 35 pitch count rule. Into the game comes the right-hander from Louisville, Kentucky as well, but by way of Lincoln, the right-hander. It was coming in for a 3rd time as a Wausau Woodchuck, has a ERA of 2.45, a whip of 1.64. Has gone 3 2/3 innings pitched so far. Has allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. Has walked 3 and has struck out 5. He has a .214 opposing batting average as well. Colin Murphy, unfortunately, having to come in this early. And the Dock Spiders are starting with the top of the order here in the second after going 1 through 9 in the first. And it starts with Connor Cooney, who hit a leadoff double in his first at-bat. Facing off against Cooney, first pitch fastball, strike 1. Murphy usually mid to high 80s numbers on the fastball. His last time out was against the Green Bay Rockers on July 7th. center field. But Colby Wallace watches it and will make the grab for out number 1. And the Woodchucks making the first out here a lot earlier than they did in the first inning. The Ducks batters already scored a run by the time the Woodchucks had out number 1 in the first. Not the case here. Connor Cooney now retired for the first time, as that brings up Travis Strickler, who was already 1 for 1 as well. He had one of the 3 hits in the first, all 3 coming from the top 3 in the order of Cooney, Strickler, and Dieters. First pitch fastball from Murphy, strike 1 to Strickler, who picked up his 45th hit of the season. Curveball missing high. Curveball, slider, fastball, changeup as well for Colin Murphy. Travis Strickler, a part of his 44 hits, has 6 doubles, 2 triples, but no home runs. Soft grounder in the infield. This is going to be a tough play, and he'll beat it out. It died in the thick grass of the infield. As Travis Strickler picks up his 2nd hit of the game, it's an infield single. That's not even Colin Murphy's fault. That's just because the grass is so long here in the infield. And that ball just straight up died. Now Teddy Dieters up for the 2nd time. As Strickler thought about stealing, but high off speed to Dieters from Murphy. Dieters has one of the 2 doubles hit so far in the game. One down the left field line back in the first inning off Nick Schutt. He was an RBI that scored Connor Cooney. 1-0. And missing on the fastball outside is Murphy. 2-0 count to Dieters, the Xavier man. That double was his first double of the season, like I mentioned earlier, and his 19th RBI. Murphy, McFarland, Murphy, and Jake Baker, but McFarland ended up being the one to grab it. He had to dive to make the catch in the infield. That would have been a disaster. But nonetheless, Teddy Dieters does pop out. And now with 2 outs comes Jake Serrain, who is 0 for 1 with an RBI. He hits this one on the line to right field. Drew Berkland's going back for it and makes the grab. Colin Murphy comes in, only faces off against 4 batters, and only allows an infield single that just died in the grass to Strickler. It stays 3-0 into the 3rd. You're listening to Woodchucks Baseball on the Woodchucks Baseball Network.
Don't miss out on any of the great food at Athletic Park. For tickets, call 715-845-5055.
The savings are heating up this summer at Cellcom. Save up to $300 on the top phones from our most iconic brands. Plus, save $150 on all connected tablets, smartwatches, and cameras. Keep kids busy this summer with a tablet. Track your steps with a smartwatch, or monitor your cabin with a camera. Now, unlimited data is more affordable than ever with our single unlimited plan. Offering unlimited data for only $29.95 per month for just 1 line. Visit cellcom.com/save for details.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Oh, good to have you back on your game.
Yeah, well, I only got cancer so that you could tell people that, you shaved your head for solidarity and not because you're going bald.
Right. And I got a minivan to make your little moped look cool.
Okay. Well, couldn't have gotten through without you.
Love you, bro. I'm glad you're sticking around.
Oh, that means so much coming from Mom and Dad's 2nd favorite.
Whatever.
Leading off the inning for the Woodchucks will be Anthony McFarland, the 9-hitter. Coming over from California Riverside. 1-0 from Jacob Young, and McFarland swings through it on the off-speed. 1-1. The third baseman hitting in the 9-hole. Batting 167 on the season, 7 games played, 6 started. Has 5 hits, 2 RBIs. 1-1 taken outside. Ball 2. He has 1 walk and a run scored as well. And he came in for a pinch hit appearance against the Green Bay Rockers in the 18-7 win, but was 0 for 1. He looks to get the inning started for the Woodchucks here in the third. 2-1 from Young, and McFarland played on a nice hop by Jake Serene at third, and he's able to make the play to Dieters. Serene played that perfectly off the hop, and McFarland grounds out. And now the top of the order comes back up for the Woodchucks, and it's going to be Brennan Holt who leads it off. Brennan Holt, 0 for 1, grounded out to Dieters in his first at-bat. Nearly had a chance to try and beat it out as Dieters fumbled it initially, and Holt thought about putting a bunt down, and he decided to pull it back just in time on the appeal down to third base umpire Max Steiner from Steve Bartelstein behind the plate. It'll be the same umpiring crew for game 2 as well, and you got Pat Weber at first base. 1-0 from Young, and Holt did put the bunt down, tried to put it down the third base line, but it went foul instead, just a little too behind it. As Brennan Holt, 1-1 count, has been hitting well recently. Second time he's in the leadoff spot. 1-1. Changeup, or curveball rather, for strike 2 from Jacob Young. Brennan Holt now playing his 19th game, making his 18th start. 207 batting average coming into the game. 12 hits, 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. His home run being the first of the season. That was 1 of 4 hit for the Woodchucks in the 18-7 win on Monday night. 1-2. And Holt does come around on the half swing and is tagged out by Paul Smith on the drop third. And that's 2 quick outs here. And strikeout number 2 for Jacob Young as he's looking to go 1-2-3 here in the third. Woodchucks still without a hit in the game as Colby Wallace leads off the fourth, or continues the third rather. And Colby Wallace swings and misses through the off speed by Jacob Young. Cloudy afternoon here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. 0-1. And Wallace down the right field line, but just was a little early on it. He's now down 0-2. Tried to wait on the breaking ball, but just did not get enough of it. Or was to it a little too early on the pull. 0-2. Young for out number 3. And Wallace into center field, and the Woodchucks had their first hit of the game, as Connor Cooney is able to get to it and not allow Wallace to head to second. Woodchucks finally put a hit on the board. And Colby Wallace picks up his 16th hit of the season. He's now 1 for 1. That's his first at-bat was a hit by pitch. Brent Witter up for the second time. He's 0 for 1. And puts a bunt down the third base line. It's a good one. Serene does not make the throw in time, and it gets away from Dieters. Colby Wallace heading to third. Witter off to second. As we'll have to see if that's going to go down as a hit or an error. It's going to be down as a hit. Bunt single for Brent Witter. Picks up his 6th hit in the last 3 games played. And now with runners at second and third, the Woodchucks have something working here. in the third inning with 2 outs. Back-to-back singles. Has the tying run come to the plate and Drew Berkland. Now, obviously, with 2 outs, Berkland has to get on to keep the inning going. But the Woodchucks definitely picking up a little bit of momentum now with back-to-back hits. As now would be a great time for Berkland to pick up hit number 31 of the season. Stays fair and is honestly probably a flyout, but Berkland nearly trying to just put one down the left field line, which definitely would have scored both runs. But instead it's an 0-1. Young to Berkland. And Young clips the outside edge on the off speed for strike 2. Berkland, one of 2 strikeouts so far for Jacob Young, and he's looking to keep the inning going. But Young already has him down 0-2. Wouldn't be shocked if he goes at him with a breaking ball here. Young goes fastball and just misses outside. Now that is one I'm a little surprised about, going right with the fastball. 1-2 now to Berkland, the Minnesota Golden Gopher. Young throws fastball again, and Berkland fouls it off. Game number 43 of the season on the schedule for the Woodchucks, and it'll be game number 44 as well if we're able to play the second game later. There's supposed to be a lot of weather coming into Fond du Lac, especially into this afternoon. 1-2 again to Berkland, and the changeup drops in there for strike 3. Berkland down looking for a second time. The Woodchucks leave 2 stranded. It's still 3-0 Fond du Lac after 2.5 here at Harry Baker Field.
I'm so glad you and Jack are home. His birthday was supposed to be today, right, Mom?
That's right.
He wanted to meet me 8 weeks early.
He sure gave us a scare, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's so perfect. It's just you and me, Jack. Can I take him to show and tell?
We'll see.
The savings are heating up this summer at Cellcom. Save up to $300 on the top phones from our most iconic brands. Plus, save $150 on all connected tablets, smartwatches, and cameras. Keep kids busy this summer with a tablet, track your steps with a smartwatch, or monitor your cabin with a camera. Now, unlimited data is more affordable than ever with our single unlimited plan. Offering unlimited data for only $29.95 per month for just 1 line. Visit cellcom.com/save for details.
Don't miss out on any of the great food at Athletic Park. For tickets, call 715-845-5055.
After leaving 2 runners stranded, it's still 3-0 Fond du Lac. Woodchucks had something good working in the third, but Jacob Young able to strike out Berkland for a second time. And coming to the plate now is Jacob Anderson to lead off the third against Colin Murphy. Murphy first pitch, high off speed, ball 1. The Lincoln Memorial Rail Splitter. And that is something you might ask yourself, never heard that mascot before. I wonder what that is. Yeah, I always wondered the same thing. As Anderson pops it up. And it's into the stands. But a rail splitter, you might ask? Well, a rail splitter is what Abe Lincoln called himself when he was on his presidential campaign back in the 1860s. So a little fun fact for your Wednesday afternoon about what a rail splitter is. As the Lincoln Memorial Rail Splitters use Abe Lincoln, an Abe Lincoln-esque top hat wearer as their school logo. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up. It's pretty interesting looking. Colin Murphy missing outside and low to Anderson, though. The Michigan State Spartan, 2-1, hit in the air. And it's just into right field and stays in the infield. And Brennan Holt makes the grab for out number 1. So now Jacob Anderson retired for the first time. Colin Murphy has retired 4 of 5 batters faced so far. Not too bad. As coming to the plate now will be the catcher from Rice, Paul Smith. And Smith fouls off the first pitch. From Murphy, 0-1. Murphy goes high. But it's fouled past the first base line. But it's 2-2. Murphy, fastball in there for strike 3. And going down looking is Paul Smith. First striking off again. Murphy, first pitch to Gorman, breaking ball. And the appeal down to Weber at first, the umpire. Not in favor of Wausau. Ball 1 to Gorman. Had the only strikeout of Nick Shuddy in the game. And Gorman hits this one on the line to right. And Berkland's there to make the grab. 1-2-3 inning for the Woodchucks on defense. And we'll head into the 4th. It's still a lead of 3-0 for the Fond du Lac Duck Spiders. Here from Hare Baker Field.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Oh, good to have you back on your game.
Yeah, well, you know, I only got cancer so that you could tell people that, you shaved your head for solidarity and not because you're going bald.
Right. And I got a minivan to make your little moped look cool.
Okay. Well, couldn't have gotten through without you.
Love you, bro. I'm glad you're sticking around.
Oh, that means so much coming from Mom and Dad's second favorite.
Whatever.
Over 600,000 Americans are projected to die of cancer this year. 250,000 will likely battle muscular dystrophy. 5,000 may be diagnosed with ALS. But one person can become the difference. All it takes is you to help researchers improve the health of Wisconsinites by participating in the All of Us research program. Join today to feel the power of one.
To buy your own Woodchucks merchandise, visit the Woodshed at Athletic Park, or you can visit our website, www.woodchucks.com. Time for the top of the 4th inning, as leading it off for the Wausau Woodchucks will be the shortstop, Christian Mitchell. Christian Mitchell led off the 2nd, now leading off the 4th. After the Woodchucks leave base runners on 2nd and 3rd in the 3rd. Christian Mitchell 0 for 1, facing off against Jacob Young for the 2nd time. Young into inning number 4 of work, and Mitchell takes first pitch fastball just outside. (1-0) to the Central Michigan man. Soon to be Cincinnati Bearcat, Christian Mitchell. And first pitch for a strike is in there. Strike 1, 1-1 count now. Mitchell, like mentioned, came into this game batting .300. 6 hits on the season as Mitchell puts one into shallow right, but Paul Whitman is there to easily make the grab. Mike McGinnis comes to the plate for the second time now. His first at bat, he reached on error in the second. Was the first base runner of that inning, would get to second, but then be left stranded. The Georgia State Panther. Last night against the Green Bay Rockers, had a sac fly RBI and was hit by a pitch. He was 0 for 2. He has 4 multi-hit games in the last 9 played. As first pitch getting away from Paul Smith behind the plate. Not really that big of a deal, though, for the Dock Spiders. As McGinnis is dealing with no base runners on. 1-0 from Young. And that pitch drops just low on the breaking ball. Mike McGinnis. Looking to be the first base runner of the inning for the Woodchucks again. He swings through the high fastball from Young, 2-1 count. Jacob Young, 2-1. 1 out here in the top of the 4th as McGinnis hits this one into right center. But Paul Whitman's there again and makes the grab again. Back-to-back flyouts to the right fielder from Germany, Paul Whitman. 2 up, 2 down here in the 4th as Jake Baker comes to the plate for the second time. And speaking of flyouts, he flew out in his first at-bat. So Jake Baker looking to keep the inning going for Wausau instead of going 1-2-3. First pitch taken low on the changeup from Jacob Young. 1-0 count to Baker. Has reached base in 15 of 17 games he's played in. Was the DH of last night's game against Green Bay. Was 0 for 4 as Baker lets the curveball drop in for strike 1. He also has 6 RBIs, 10 runs scored, 15 walks, and it's an on-base percentage of .425. But like mentioned, 0 for 4 last night against the Green Bay Rockers, batting in the 9-hole as the designated hitter. 1-2. Outside fastball from Young. As Jake Baker is hoping to keep the inning going. The Kansas Jayhawk. Jacob Young looking for a 1-2-3 though. 2-2 to Baker. And it's taken low on an off-speed. Jacob Young, the recent senior. Fairmont State man. 5'10" right-hander. Second team he's been on this summer in the Northwoods League. Was on the Green Bay Rockers, made a couple appearances with the team who hails out of Ashwaubenon. 3-2. And Baker lets the curveball drop in for strike 3. He goes down looking. And that's a 1-2-3 for the Dock Spiders on defense. It's still 3-0 in favor of the Dock Spiders, and they're looking to add on to it when we come back in the 4th here on the Woodchucks Baseball Network.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Oh, good to have you back on your game.
Yeah, well, you know, I only got cancer so that you could tell people that, you shaved your head for solidarity and not because you're going bald.
Right. And I got a minivan to make your little moped look cool.
Okay. Well, couldn't have gotten through without you.
Love you, bro. I'm glad you're sticking around.
Oh, that means so much coming from Mom and Dad's second favorite.
Whatever.
Over 600,000 Americans are projected to die of cancer this year. 250,000 will likely battle muscular dystrophy. 5,000 may be diagnosed with ALS. But one person can become the difference. All it takes is you to help researchers improve the health of Wisconsinites by participating in the All of Us research program. Join today to feel the power of one.
To buy your own Woodchucks merchandise, visit the Woodshed at Athletic Park, or you can visit our website, www.woodchucks.com. 3-0 lead for the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders still, as it is time for the bottom of the fourth here on the Woodchucks Baseball Network. Will Charlton with you here tonight. Or today, rather, I should say once again. I'm so used to saying tonight because I'm not used to having day games, especially with the Wausau Woodchucks. But we have a day game today. And leading off the inning will be Paul Whitman for the Dock Spiders, the right fielder, who puts a bunt down, but it goes foul. This is kind of crazy. I remember this, but in the no-hitter that Ethan Pecco threw against the Dock Spiders back in only the fifth game of the season, or the sixth game of the season, rather, seventh game of the season, as Whitman swings through the off-speed pitch by Murphy. Paul Whitman put a bunt down as the leadoff man in that game and was thrown out at first base. Don't know why I remember that, but fun fact. He was the first out of the no-hitter that day that Ethan Pecco threw. 7 hitless innings of 11 Ks. And Whitman swings and misses. That's 3 strikes and only 3 pitches thrown from Colin Murphy. And Whitman is out number 1 here in the fourth. Colin Murphy has retired now 7 of 8 batters faced in 2 1/3 innings of work. And the only base run he's allowed was that infield single that just died in the grass by Travis Strickler. Seth Sweetchick, the 9-hitter, up for the second time. And takes first pitch curveball from Murphy, but it just misses high. Realistically, it could have been a strike, but I'm not the umpire. 1-0, the Lincoln Memorial product. Like mentioned, he's making his 3rd overall appearance with the Woodchucks this summer. Joined the team going down to Lakeshore as a part of the little 4-game road trip the Woodchucks were on. Between going to Fond du Lac twice and Lakeshore twice in the span of 4 days. And now it's 3-0 to Seth Sweetchick from Murphy. And Murphy misses outside. That's 4 pitches. After 3 strikes, that's 4 straight pitches that miss this time. And Sweetchick is the second base runner allowed by Murphy. This past year at Lincoln Memorial, he went 3-2 in 19 appearances, 1 save, a 3.02 ERA, a WHIP of 1.15, and 41 2/3 innings pitched. Struck out 48, allowed 29 hits, 18 runs, 14 being earned. Walked 19, had an opposing batting average of 195 only. So a very solid season on the mound from the right-hander at Lincoln Memorial. As Connor Cooney up for the 3rd time, he's 1 for 2. And takes first pitch, strike 1. 0-1 to Cooney. Make it 0-2. Murphy has found his spot these past couple of pitches after missing on all 4 to Seth Sweetchick. One out here in the bottom of the fourth. 0-2 to Cooney. And it misses low. Connor Cooney's 16-game on-base streak. Connor Cooney picked up his 35th hit of the season and his 4th double with his 1 hit. And he swings and misses. Second strikeout of the inning for Colin Murphy. And now that's 2 outs on the board. As coming out to the plate is the only hit that Murphy has allowed so far, and it was an infield single. Travis Strickler out for the 3rd time, and he is 2 for 2. A couple of singles and a run scored so far for the left fielder from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical. And this one's on the ground to Brendan Holt, but he can't field it cleanly. Off to 3rd goes Sweetchick. And that's the first error of the game on the board for the Woodchucks. Runners now in the corners with 2 outs. And Strickler on for the 3rd time, but he's now 2 for 3 because when you reach out an error like that, you're credited with an 0 for 1, not without an at-bat. So Strickler now 2 for 3, but is on base for the 3rd time. Strickler now at 3rd as well. Teddy Dieters, 2nd hit of the game, and hits number 32 and 33 on the day. And also has 2 RBIs, and now is at 20 RBIs on the season. Jake Serrain swings and misses at the first pitch off speed by Colin Murphy, who should have got out of the inning off the Travis Strickler ground ball, but now it's 4-0 Fond du Lac. And the 0-1 misses outside, ball 1 to the UW Oshkosh man, Jake Serrain. Serrain is 0 for 2 in the game with an RBI. 1-1. And Serrain fouls off the pitch. It's now 1-2. Colin Murphy looking to get out of this, leaving bases or runners on the corner stranded. Murphy, 1-2. And Serrain swings and misses. Colin Murphy strikes out the side and picks up strikeouts 2, 3, and 4. The Dock Spiders add a run, and it's 4-0 into the 5th here at Harry Baker Field. This is Woodchucks Baseball on the Woodchucks Baseball Network.
Over 600,000 Americans are projected to die of cancer this year. 250,000 will likely battle muscular dystrophy. 5,000 may be diagnosed with ALS. But one person can become the difference. All it takes is you to help researchers improve the health of Wisconsinites by participating in the All of Us research program. Join today to feel the power of one.
To buy your own Woodchucks merchandise, visit the Woodshed at Athletic Park, or you can visit our website, www.woodchucks.com.
I'm so glad you and Jack are home. His birthday was supposed to be today, right, Mom?
That's right.
He wanted to meet me 8 weeks early.
He sure gave us a scare, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's so perfect. It's just you and me, Jack. Can I take him to show and tell?
We'll see.
Top of the 5th inning from Harry Baker Field, as it's 4-0 Woodchucks, or 4-0 Dock Spiders, rather. Wish it was the other way around, but it's not. 4-0 Dock Spiders, as Matt McGann, the 8-hitter, the catcher, is Jacob Young, who's into his 5th inning of work now, has only allowed 2 hits and has not walked a hitter yet, but has allowed in total only 3 base runners. Matt McGann swings and misses on the off speed by Young, the Albion College catcher. From Sterling Heights, Michigan, Matt McGann. 1-1 from Jacob Young. And McGann fouls it off. It'll be 8-9, then top here in the 5th for Wausau, so you'll at least see McGann, McFarland, and Holt. And hopefully more, of course. But McGann grounded out in his first at-bat. And is now down 1-2. Young, the pitch. And it's taken in the dirt on the curveball. 2-2 from Jacob Young to Matt McGann now. And the pitch, McGann takes the fastball high. Fairmont State, man. Jacob Young looking to retire Matt McGann for a second time, whereas Matt McGann hopes to be the first base runner of the inning for the Woodchucks, who need some offense quickly. McGann comes through on the half swing and is down on the breaking ball. Fourth strikeout for Jacob Young, now in 4 1/3 innings pitched. Not much besides some loosening up going on in the bullpen of the Dock Spiders, and I can't tell if anything's working in the Woodchucks bullpen because there's a huge light pole right in front of it from my view here. So I have no idea if anything's ever going on in the Woodchucks bullpen. Grounded out into a 5-3 in his first at bat and is up 2-0 in the count now after the high off speed just misses. According to Steve Bartelstein behind home plate. (2-0). McFarland takes it inside, and he's up 3-0. No reason to swing at this next pitch if you're McFarland. Young, and that one in there for strike one. And McFarland grounds it over to Anderson at second. 4-3 for out number 2. As now coming up to the plate will be Brennan Holt, the second baseman, the Oklahoma State Cowboy, with 2 outs, looking to avoid a 1-2-3. Woodchucks not throwing out Jesse Donahoe or Dalton Pearson in this game today. They're saving them for game 2, I would presume. Giving those two a little chance to rest as Brennan Holt waits on the breaking ball, but fouls it off. The left-handed batting second baseman who hit a home run to right field against the Green Bay Rockets, his first of the summer. He had 4 home runs at Oklahoma State this past year. Did Holt, who is now transferring to South Alabama. 0-1. And the curveball just misses high from Jacob Young. 1-1. Brennan Holt. 1-1 from Young. And he fouls it off. 1-2 now. One more strike to work with to try and avoid being the last out of the inning. Brennan Holt is already 0 for 2, though, and has one of the 4 strikeouts from Young. One, 2. That's in the dirt. Last time Brennan Holt led off was against the Lakeshore Chinooks. That game came in the 8-4 win against Lakeshore in the 2-game split that ended the first half. That was July 3rd. So a couple of Mondays ago now down in Mequon. As the curveball misses outside and the count's full to Brennan Holt. Colby Wallace on deck if Brennan Holt is able to reach base. Payoff pitch. Young. Fastball, strike 3. Baseball Network.
Don't miss out on any of the great food at Athletic Park. For tickets, call 715-845-5055.
The savings are heating up this summer at Cellcom. Save up to $300 on the top phones from our most iconic brands. Plus, save $150 on all connected tablets, smartwatches, and cameras. Keep kids busy this summer with a tablet, track your steps with a smartwatch, or monitor your cabin with a camera. Now, unlimited data is more affordable than ever with our single unlimited plan, offering unlimited data for only $29.95 per month for just one line. Visit cellcom.com/save for details.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Oh, good to have you back on your game.
Yeah, well, you know, I only got cancer so that you could tell people that, you shaved your head for solidarity and not because you're going bald.
Right. And I got a minivan to make your little moped look cool.
Okay. Well, couldn't have gotten through without you.
Love you, bro. I'm glad you're sticking around.
Oh, that means so much coming from Mom and Dad's second favorite.
We have a new pitcher in the game for the Woodchucks. It's Isaiah Piscitello, the recent graduate of Bryant Stratton College, who's on his way to St. Cloud State next year. Isaiah Piscitello, the native of Wausau, Wisconsin, who is playing for his hometown team this year after being with the Duluth Huskies for a little bit last year, has an ERA of 13.5, 2.7 walks and hits per innings pitched rate, 3 1/3 pitched. And he's facing off against the Dock Spiders in order of 5, 6, 7 here. And he goes first pitch fastball outside. Piscitello, right-hander. 2-0 to Jacob Anderson. Piscitello has struck out 4, allowed 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, and has walked. Piscitello facing off against the Dock Spiders for the second time this summer. In fact, he faced off against them on the July 4th matchup last Tuesday in that 4-1 win for Fond du Lac. 1 inning and 2/3 in that game. Struck out 3, walked a couple, and 8 batters faced. First pitch off speed to Paul Smith for strike 1. With Jacob Anderson at first base, the right-hander Piscitello holding him on. And breaking ball, strike 2 to Paul Smith, left-handed batting catcher. Isaiah Piscitello. 0-2. Smith into center on the line. That's going to drop. Back-to-back singles. And Paul Smith on with an 0-2 count. That's just an unfortunate way for the inning to start for the Woodchucks. So now runners on first and second as Jack Gorman comes to the plate. Isaiah Piscitello needs one on the ground, the infield. Gorman could ground out. He's 0 for 2, is the Presbyterian man. And he thought about putting a bunt down, which is not a bad idea. From Piscitello to Gorman, who's getting ready to put the bunt down again. And he does. That's a good bunt. Piscitello in time to Baker, who was on the bag. Or that's Brendan Holt who was covering the bag there. And Brendan Holt was able to keep his foot on the bag after the rough throw over from Piscitello. But Doug Coe, the field manager from the Dock Spiders, is going to call over first base umpire Pat Weber to have a little discussion about that. And we're going to have an umpire congregation. And he's going to be called safe at first. Bunt single for Jack Gorman. Bases are loaded. As the Dock Spiders, now with no outs, have a fantastic chance to add on to this already 4-0 lead here in the 5th. Piscitello first pitch to The right fielder, Paul Whitman, misses high. Has allowed 3 base runners already. 1-0, and Whitman fouls it off. Whitman on the game, 0 for 1 with a walk, and the curveball and with a double play ball, the inning will end as there's a force at every base. So now coming to the plate is Seth Sweetchick. And Sweetchick swings through the breaking ball for strike 1, the right-handed batter from the University of Nevada, member of the Nevada Wolfpack baseball team. 0-1 to Sweetchick. And the breaking ball in the dirt, good stop by McGann to make sure that Travis Strickler at third, or Jacob Anderson rather at third, could not come around to score. Seth Sweetchick 0 for 1 with a walk and a run. Was only one of 3 base runners allowed by Colin Murphy. 1-1. Sweetchick takes it outside on another breaking ball from Isaiah Piscitello. Two-one. Piscitello. And the fastball's fouled off by Sweetchick. Usually upper 80s numbers with the fastball is Piscitello. The pitch speed reader here is a little slower than what it should be. It looks like it's between 6 to 7 miles an hour slower. And breaking ball, strike 3. Nice pitch from Piscitello, who has battled back with a couple straight strikeouts with bases loaded. And now he'll look to escape the inning. As with 2 outs comes Connor Cooney to the plate. And Cooney into center field. And that's going to score more than likely 2 runs for the Dock Spiders. But no, it will not. Colby Wallace makes a great throw from center field, throwing out Paul Smith at home. And the RBI single by Connor Cooney only scores 1 run. But still, the Dock Spiders add on to the lead, and it's 5-0 after 5 here at Harry Baker Field. We'll be back for the 6th on the Woodchucks Baseball Network.
I'm so glad you and Jack are home. His birthday was supposed to be today, right, Mom?
That's right.
He wanted to meet me 8 weeks early.
He sure gave us a scare, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's so perfect. It's just you and me, Jack. Can I take him to show and tell?
We'll see.
The savings are heating up this summer at Cellcom. Save up to $300 on the top phones from our most iconic brands. Plus, save $150 on all connected tablets, smartwatches, and cameras. Keep kids busy this summer with a tablet, track your steps with a smartwatch, or monitor your cabin with a camera. Now, unlimited data is more affordable than ever with our single unlimited plan, offering unlimited data for only $29.95 per month for just 1 line. Visit cellcom.com/save for details.
Don't miss out on any of the great food at Athletic Park. For tickets, call 715-845-5055.
The Woodchucks are still being shut out as they do not have a run through 5 innings here. It's a 5-0 lead for the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders, who are looking for the first win of the doubleheader today. Second game will be at 6:35 right back here on the Woodchucks Baseball Network. You can listen to that one as well later on if your day would allow for it. Later on, it'll be Matt Milner starting for the Woodchucks, facing off against JT Hawkers for the Dock Spiders, as Colby Wallace leads off the 6th, and he's facing off against who else but Jacob Young, who's into his 6th inning of work now. Every time the starter here at Harry Baker Field has gone a long way against the Woodchucks, because the Woodchucks had just had a really hard time hitting the baseball here at this ballpark. Only 4 total runs scored in 3 games coming into today, and now still is the case through 5 innings of offense today. Only 2 hits on the board as well for Wausau. Both came back in the second, or the third rather. Colby Wallace swings and misses, and he's down 1-2. Righty-lefty matchup. The Cal State Fullerton man from Rancho Santa Margarita, California, Colby Wallace, who is 1 for 1 of the day, has one of those 2 hits. 1-2 from Young. And Wallace into right field, but it's caught by Paul Whitman. Well hit ball, just did not get enough on it. As that brings up Brent Witter, the DH from the University of Evansville. Witter 1 for 2 on the day, also had one of those 2 hits. And the kind of the way it's been today, that hit was an infield bunt single. Witter, first pitch in the dirt by Jacob Young. Can't tell if there's an arm throwing in the bullpen. Oh no, they're just throwing a football down there. There is no one warming up in the bullpen for the Dock Spiders. Really no reason to, especially with how good Jacob Young has been on the mound. 1-0. Witter thought about putting another bunt down, but instead pulled it back and took a high curveball for ball 2. 2-0 count now to the Sheboygan, Wisconsin man, Brent Witter. Young, 2-0. Witter takes it on a fastball for strike 1. Fourth and 5th time this season that the Woodchucks will play here at Harry Baker Field. Come back one more time in August, part of a home and home, as Witter pops a bunt, foul. So now 2-2 between Witter and Young. And Young goes high. Witter did not come through in the half swing, as Pat Weber down at first base says, nope, he was fine. And the count is full with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Woodchucks going through the order for the 3rd time now. 3-2. And Witter hits one into foul territory and is not playable. Goes into the stands. And as a souvenir for one of the campers who are out here today. One of the day campers. A couple of different day camps that are out here today at Harry Baker Field. 3-2 once again. Young. Witter hits this one in the infield. Jacob Anderson's got it at second. And the throw just in time to Dieters. Witter thought he beat it out. But Pat Weber disagreed at first base, and he's called out for out number 2. Witter just nearly got it into center field, but Jacob Anderson was there to stop it. And instead he gets thrown out at second base. Drew Berkland now up for the third time in the game. He's 0 for 2 with 2 looking strikeouts. Was the reason that runners were left stranded at second and third in the third. Ground ball to Jake Serrain, and Berkland has reached base. That will probably be a hit, I'd have to assume. That would have been a tough play for Serrain regardless. Still waiting to see if a third hit is put on the board for Wausau, and it is. Infield single for Berkland puts him on first base, and he keeps inning going for Christian Mitchell. Christian Mitchell 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts in the game. And Mitchell puts a bunt down. It's a good one. Paul Smith is not able to make the throw in time. So that's the second bunt single of the game for Wausau. Christian Mitchell puts it down perfectly. And off to second goes Drew Berkland. And that brings up Mike McGinnis. Mike McGinnis 0 for 2 with a reach on error in the game. The Georgia State Panther. Jacob Young, first pitch to McGinnis, and McGinnis down the left field line, and it's going to drop. It's at the wall. Coming home is Berkland, but being held up at third is Mitchell. RBI double for Mike McGinnis. And the Woodchucks put their first run on the board tonight. First extra base hit of the game for Wausau. And the Chucks now have runners at second and third. The shutout night for Young is over. And now coming to the plate is Jake Baker. Two outs here in the sixth. Jake Baker takes outside fastball for ball one. And now we do have an arm getting loose in the pen for the Dock Spiders. It's the left-hander. And if my eyes don't deceive me, that's Cade Walker. Looks like it's number 13 down there at least. 1-0 to Baker. And Baker down the right field line, but it goes foul. Baker just missed what would have been for sure a 2 RBI hit. And I mean just missed it. Just got a little too ahead of it. But if you do that exact same thing again, that would make this a 2-run ball game. 1-1. 3-1. And Baker swings through the changeup. And we're full. Jacob Young just pitched his 100th of the game. Last time the Woodchucks were here, Mason Hill did the exact same thing. Or I guess last time here it was Sengeg who pitched, but 3-2 to Baker, and it's inside. That is ball number 4, and that loads the bases. The tying run comes to the plate. And Matt McGann. Matt McGann is 0 for 2. Right now would be a fantastic time to change that if you're Matt McGann. And McGann takes first high pitch fastball. 1-0. And McGann hits one softly in the infield. It goes to Jacob Anderson. And he throws up McGann at first. Bases loaded, stranded. As McGann hits a soft one in the infield. But the Woodchucks had their first run. It's a Mike McGinnis RBI double. And it's now 5-1 into the bottom of the 6th. We go on the Woodchucks Baseball Network.
I'm so glad you and Jack are home. His birthday was supposed to be today, right, Mom?
That's right.
He wanted to meet me 8 weeks early.
He sure gave us a scare, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's so perfect. It's just you and me, Jack. Can I take him to show and tell?
We'll see.
The savings are heating up this summer at Cellcom. Save up to $300 on the top phones from our most iconic brands. Plus, save $150 on all connected tablets, smartwatches, and cameras. Keep kids busy this summer with a tablet, track your steps with a smartwatch, or monitor your cabin with a camera. Now, unlimited data is more affordable than ever with our single unlimited plan, offering unlimited data for only $29.95 per month for just one line. Visit cellcom.com/save for details.
Don't miss out on any of the great food at Athletic Park. For tickets, call 715-845-5055.
The rain is starting to fall here in Fond du Lac. As at this point, you have to wonder if they're going to roll the tarp on the field and delay this game. But now, back to start the bottom of the 6th inning is Isaiah Pichatello on the mound in inning number 2 of work. He's facing off first against Travis Strickler, the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical product, who already has 2 hits in the game and a reach on error. Has not been retired yet, but if he was, it would only be a 4-1 ball game instead of 5-1. And Isaiah Pichatello misses low. And the off-speed pitch. And it's 2-0 to Travis Strickler. The left fielder. And breaking ball clips the inner part of the strike zone for strike 1. 2-1 count now to Strickler, the Glendale, Arizona native. Left-handed batting, 5'11 senior. 2-1. And it's taken outside. And Pichatello throws fastball right down Broadway, but it's fouled off by Strickler. So now it's full count. Pichatello looking for out number 1 here in the 6th. 3-2. And it's a low fastball. Strickler on for the 4th time. Obviously, you're not counting with an on-base appearance and a reach on error, but literally speaking, he's on base for the 4th time now today. And that brings up a guy who's also got 2 hits in Teddy Dieters, both for RBIs, his double and his single. Double hit in the first scored Connor Cooney, and the single he hit in the 4th scored Seth Sweetchick. Breaking ball outside from Pichatello. No to Dieters. His only out was a pop out in the 2nd inning. 1-1. And going to second is Strickler, and he will be in there with a stolen base. It was a strike thrown, though, by Pichatello. As now it's a 1-2 count between Piscitello and Dieters. And Dieters thought about swinging on the inside off speed, but laid off it. So now 2-2. Piscitello looking for out number 1. And Dieters hits one fair down the third base line. Was waiting on the breaking ball. And just pulled it a bit too much. That stayed fair. That was certainly heading for left field. It would have certainly scored the 6th run of the game for the Dock Spiders, especially with Strickler at second. 2-2, once again. Inside breaking ball. And the count is full to Piscitello. Or from Piscitello to Dieters. Payoff pitch. Piscitello misses low. Back-to-back walks allowed by the right-hander. Now Strickler at second and Dieters on first. Which I guess is not the worst thing in the world. First pitch off speed with Piscitello, strike 1. And Serene the 0-1. Fouls off the pitch, and he's now down 0-2. Piscitello looking for out number 1 here in the 6th. Pick up a couple strikeouts in the 5th, but then allowed a run to score off the RBI single by Connor Cooney before Paul Smith was thrown out at home. Great play from Colby Wallace there, by the way. Once again, 0-2. And this one's hit up the middle. Christian Mitchell will throw it to Holt, and the throw to Baker will not be in time. As that is going to be an advance of bases, but a putout of Dieters at second. So Strickler goes to third. Or Strickler comes home, rather. It's now 6-1 Fond du Lac. But being put out at second. Okay, so being put out at second was Dieters, but because of the fact that the throw got away from Brennan Holt, trying to turn 2 to Baker, off to second goes Serene. So he's on second with a fielder's choice. So runner in scoring position. With only 1 out comes Jacob Anderson. 1 for 2 on the day. Single and a walk as well as a run. And now the count is 2-0 to the Michigan State Spartan, Jacob Anderson, who extended his 3-game hit streak to 4 with his single in the 5th. And the 2-0 from Piscitello. Breaking ball 3. Piscitello. And that one hits Jacob Anderson. So now that he's off to first base for the 3rd time in the game. His on-base streak now at 10, Jacob Anderson. As Ross Davis, the pitching coach, heading out there to talk it over with Isaiah Piscitello before Paul Smith will come to the plate for the 3rd time. Paul Smith also 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Exact same stat line as Jacob Anderson had going into that last at-bat before he was then hit by a pitch. So runners will be at first and second with 1 out. as they will head back to their respective positions. It was an infield congregation, joined as well by third base umpire Max Steiner on the mound, as Piscitello will now be facing off against Paul Smith, who's up for the second time in the same amount of innings. And one of 3 straight singles hit in the 5th against Piscitello. Paul Smith takes first pitch fastball for strike 1. The catcher from Rice University in Texas. Oh, 1. And Piscitello misses inside. The rain really coming down now. So now 1-2 with 1 out on the board. Piscitello, breaking ball hit by Paul Smith down and foul into the area of the bullpen for the Dock Spiders. A little push foul ball by a left-handed batter and Paul Smith. One, two now. And Piscitello throws it right down the middle. Paul Smith goes down looking, and that is Piscitello's 3rd strikeout since coming into the game. Now in his 2nd inning of work. Now with 2 outs. Goes first pitch breaking ball for strike 1. And the rain is really coming down. This guy's got to be getting soaked out there. I guess it doesn't look like it's that powerful of rain. I'm inside right now, so I'm not really too sure how powerful it is exactly as Gorman fouls off the 0-1. So now it's 0-2. And Piscitello, Gorman thought about it, and the appeal down to Pat Weber down at first base says that Gorman came through. That's back-to-back strikeouts to end the 6th inning as Piscitello gets out of it. But Fond du Lac adds another and lead it 6-1, answering the 1 scored by the Woodchucks in their half of the 6th. It's 6-1 after the 6th, and it looks like that is going to be it. They're pulling the tarp out. So the Dock Spiders are heading down by the area of the tarp, and it looks like they are going to be pulling the tarp out here at Herb Baker Field. We're going into a rain delay, so we will keep you updated on the Woodchucks social media. We'll keep the stream rolling here. But for now, If you have been patiently waiting, this game is over. The Woodchucks have fallen 6-1 to Fond du Lac in 6 innings. Make sure to tune back to Game 2, which is at 6:35 tonight. The rain is still coming down here in Fond du Lac. Game 1 has been called. 6-1 final. Woodchucks to 23-20, Fond du Lac to 17-27. Until tonight, Will Charlton signing off. Thank you for listening. We'll see you tonight.